Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome on back to another video. Today I have another Marvel Rivals concept video for you guys. In today's video it's going to be 5 more Avengers we need for Marvel Rivals. We got most of the Avengers in the game already, so I got 5 here for you today, not 10. But I think I cooked with these. Thank you guys for all the support these videos have been getting. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers before the year ends, so if you guys can help me reach my goal, that'd be amazing. I appreciate it a lot. But let's get right into this list. And first up, I'm gonna start with Wasp. And I did mention Ant-Man in my prediction list for 2026, so I'm gonna be talking about Wasp. And in my prediction list I said Ant-Man could be a tank because you know he can get big and stuff. If they add the Wasp, maybe they can go together in a season. I would want her to be a healer, a strategist. I think she could be cool. I think she'll be like one of the more slippery strategists. Like, it'll be harder to kill her because obviously she can shrink down, heal people from being tiny and stuff. Look at this concept art. It looks amazing. Like, shout out to these artists. This one looks good too. But yeah, this is what I have written down for her. I would want her to be a strategist. Her primary fire could be rapid micro shots that heal allies they pass through and poison enemies they hit, rewarding smart positioning. Like I said, she's gonna be shrinking, like little micro shots. Like, it's gonna be hard to kill her for sure. And then her first ability could be Wasp miniaturizes herself or a targeted ally. Shrunken allies gain evasion, movement speed, and reduced hitbox when effect ends, and the burst heal based on the time survived. Basically, like, she doesn't even have to just shrink herself. She could throw the pin particle things and shrink her teammates, and they'll get some healing and they could get out of sticky situations. I think that could be a cool idea. And then her second ability could be summons a cloud of micro drones that orbit allies, intercepting damage and converting block damage into gradual healing. That could be like a good utility right there. And then her passive could be size advantage. Each time Wasp rapidly changes size, nearby allies gain a brief speed or cooldown boost, encouraging constant movement. Because she's different from an Ant-Man, like how, because she has the wings, right? So she flies around, she's a little bit more movement based. I think that could be a good like utility for her. And then her ultimate can be Wasp shrinks the battlefield around her. Allies become harder to hit and rapidly regenerate. Down enemies revive faster, and enemies experience delayed inputs and distorted vision. So she shrinks for the whole team and they get healing basically. I think that could be really cool, unique ult right there. It would only last maybe like a couple seconds, 6, maybe 8 seconds. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's my concept for the Wasp. I think she could probably make it in the game. But let's keep moving. Next I got Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. You know, I feel like we're missing Captain Marvel, and I would want her as a Vanguard because she's one of the strongest characters in the MCU, right? And Marvel in general. So I think making her a tank makes sense. Here's another concept art. This one has her as a duelist, but and this one too. These all look great. These all look great. Wow. Any of these, it would be great. But yeah, she'll be like a pretty hefty tank, I would say. But let's get right into it. Her primary fire, heavy photon charge punches, damage dealt builds energy reserve, which strengthens her defensive abilities instead of raw DPS, right? Because she's gonna be more of a heavy hitter type of tank, because she's one of the strongest, like I said. Her first ability could be Captain Marvel enters a guarded stance, absorbing incoming damage and projectiles. Stored damage converts into overshields for nearby allies when stance ends. And her second ability could be she rockets forward in a straight line, knocking enemies aside, leaving behind a glowing trail that grants damage resistance to allies who move through it. And then her utility could be taking elemental or energy damage like lasers, explosions, like the crazy abilities, right? Charges her faster, increasing shield generation and ability uptime. Because that's like kind of her thing. Like when she's taking like cosmic hits like that, she gets charged and more powerful. So I think they can make that like her passive. And then her ultimate can be Captain Marvel fully enters binary form. Massive health and shield boost, constant energy absorption, field reducing enemy damage. Each absorbed hit sends out shockwaves that protect allies and push back enemies. So kind of like a freaking like a transformation ult, but at the same time you're getting stronger and stronger. And the ult will only last a couple seconds as well, but I think she'll be a very strong character. I think she'll make a really unique tank. I would love to see Captain Marvel in this game eventually. Let me know what you guys think. But let's keep going. Next, I got Falcon. Yeah, come on, Falcon. Look at this. This will be sick. And they got Red Wing in there. I did include like Red Wing in the kit because I think that can make him unique. You know, different from like an Angela. I do have him as a DPS, not as a tank. So I think he will be playing different. I think he could be very unique. I would love to see Falcon. Here's another one. This one looks more like the actor Anthony Mackie. But yeah, let's get right into this. Falcon, DPS. His primary fire, dual SMG burst, fast firing aerial weapons, accuracy improves while moving, rewarding constant flight and strafing instead of standing still. Because you know, in the movies he uses the SMG, and I feel like you should be rewarded if you're hitting your SMG shots. Like strafing, you get like a little movement boost. Like you want to reward just that movement in the air. And then his first ability could be Wing Ripcord. Falcon grapples an enemy or surface with his wing cable, pulls himself towards the enemy for close range pressure, or yanks enemies slightly out of position if grounded. Crazy. Now his second ability can be Red Wing Assault. That's where I bring in Red Wing. Deploys Red Wing to autonomously mark targets. Marked enemies take bonus damage from Falcon. Red Wing can intercept projectiles or explode on command. Because that's kind of Red Wing's whole thing. Like he scans the area. Now imagine marking all the enemies on where they are. Kind of like how Daredevil works, but like only Daredevil can see it, and then he has to calm to his teammates like, oh, they're coming through this side of the wall. Like Red Wing will just mark it for all your teammates to see, like, oh shoot, they're coming. I think maybe that'll be a little too broken, but let me know what you guys think. And then his passive can be Air Superiority. Falcon gains bonus damage and reload speed while airborne. Landing removes the bonus, forcing aerial play. And then his ultimate can be Skyfall Run. Falcon calls in a coordinated aerial strike. Gains unlimited flight and speed. Red Wing strafes enemies continuously. Falcon shots chain between marked targets. Pretty crazy. But I think it could be really dope. I actually think I cooked on this one. Like the Falcon, like I think this could actually happen. Maybe they do something similar to my idea. Let me know what you guys would do. But let's keep this list moving. Next I got War Machine. Now you're like, what? War Machine? We already got Iron Man. Why would we need War Machine? War Machine is way different than Iron Man. Like Iron Man is more about the repulsors. This guy is a freaking war machine. Like he's a tank in the sky, and that's why I have him here as a tank, like as a Vanguard. And I would want him as like a flying Vanguard too. But I think this one, I think I cooked with this one, and you'll see. Here's another one. These concepts are so sick, and they both have him as Vanguard. Like I think it makes sense too. But let's get right into this. His primary fire could be his twin shoulder-mounted chain guns with ramping fire rate. The longer he fires, the less damage enemies deal in an area. So, you know, like the little machine guns that come up, just straight firing on that. And as long as he's hitting his shots, the damage the enemy's doing is a little less. And then his first ability could be War Machine locks into a stabilized hover, gains heavy damage resistance, projects a frontal airborne shield that moves with him, cannot be knocked out of the air during the duration. So like I said, he's gonna be a tank if he has some sort of shield to guard his team, especially in the air. Maybe he'll be more of a tank for air heroes like Iron Man. Like I feel like he could have a team up with Iron Man, more synergistic there. So I think it makes sense. And then his second ability could be deploys a controlled missile spread downward. Missiles don't burst instantly, they detonate when enemies move. Pushing rotations and dives creates temporary no-go zones. So this will be more of like a aggressive type of move. And then his passive could be taking damage fills an ordnance meter. At full meter, his next ability gains anti-armor and grants overshields to nearby allies. Crazy. And then his ultimate can be War Machine ascends and declares an air lockdown. Entire zone is marked for sustained artillery fire. Allies inside gain shields and reload speed, and enemies suffer accuracy penalties and movement suppression. Maybe that's too broken of an ult, but that's War Machine, bro. Like, just all the missiles and all the guns going off, and your teammates are getting stronger. I think I could do this one. I think War Machine could be a really dope character. I think maybe they do add him eventually. I mean, something like this could be sick. Let me know what you guys think. But last but not least, I got Vision. Yeah, Vision. What? He's an Avenger too. I think he's a dope character. I liked him in Civil War. He kind of died in Avengers Infinity War, but you know, he's a cool character, and he's actually really strong in the comics. He has the Mind Stone in his head, so I do have some of the gameplay revolving around that. But I would want him as a healer, actually. I think he could work as a healer. I debated maybe making him a tank, but I just gave a flying tank, so I was like, I'm gonna make him a healer because I think it can make sense. But you'll see here. His primary fire could be precision Mind Stone beams that heals ally that pass through and weaken enemies they touch, and lowering damage output. No raw DPS focus. He's gonna be more like traditional healer. With the Mind Stone, I think the beam the Mind Stone shoots out could heal people. And then his first ability could be Vision phases an ally. Allies become intangible and can't be hit and can't attack. Rapid health generation during phase. Reappears with brief shield. So when he phases through someone, they can heal, but they can't be hit, but they also can't hit either, to make it more fair. And then his second ability could be Vision alters gravity in a zone. Allies gain increased resistance and stability. No knockback. Enemies become heavier, slowing movement and ability animations. So like I said, more of a traditional, trying to keep everyone alive. And then his passive could be Vision healing scales with positioning. Allies closer to Vision receive stronger effects, encouraging smart formation play. So he's gonna want to stay close to the team. You know, a lot of like he'll be kind of similar to a Jeff, but instead of Jeff can be all the way like 100 miles away still healing you, he would have to be like right there with the team. And then his ultimate can be Vision ascends and anchors the battlefield. Constant team-wide healing pulse. Allies gain phasing on cooldown. Enemies inside the area suffer delayed inputs and ability lag. So pretty traditional healer, but I think some of the traditional healers are the strongest. I think he could be really dope. And I do have a couple honorable mentions. First one is Shang-Chi. I thought maybe he could be too similar to an Iron Fist, but I know they can make him different with the 10 rings. He could definitely do something pretty dope. I would actually like to see Shang-Chi. And then the next one is She-Hulk. You know, we do have Hulk. Maybe they can make She-Hulk a little different. But this is a cool concept art right here. But those are my honorable mentions. Let me know what you guys think. Let's recap real quick. So first we got the Wasp. This one looks dope. Then we got Captain Marvel. Yes, sir. I think she definitely does come eventually. Some great concept art right there. Next, I got the Falcon. I cooked with this one. With the Red Wing stuff, that was dope. That was dope. Next, I got War Machine. Yes, sir. And finally, Vision. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers before the end of the year. Leave a like, and peace.